Hi guys, so today's video is going to be another trans related video, as you can tell by the title, and it's going to be pressures of being trans and pressures that you feel brought upon either by yourself or by society or people in your life, family, friends, whatever that may be. So back when I first started to transition, I was 17, I'm 20 years old now. I was very, very, very outlandish. Very, very outlandish. I loved, doing crazy things. I loved a big, bold, winged eyeliner. I loved a nice, bright lip. I had bleach, blonde, short hair. I loved wearing wigs that were long and black and gray, and I had short black ones that were spunky with straight across bangs, and I was wearing super, super short dresses with my short bleach blonde hair, and I had nails, but they were bright pink or bright blue or yellow or gold glitter. Like, I was very, very out there, and I loved being out there. Like, that stuff made me happy and made me feel feminine. But the problems and the pressures that I felt from family or society or friends or whatever that may be definitely took a toll on me, and I can understand why it would take a toll on other trans people, of course, is that you feel the need to conform to gender roles or the average girl or the average boy in society. Girls my age at 17 were, you know what I mean? They weren't having bright pink acrylic nails, and they, obviously didn't have short, like bright blonde hair, and they weren't wearing crazy full faces of makeup, and they weren't wearing long gray wigs, and they weren't doing that stuff. So it definitely made me stick out. And I constantly remember family and even my therapist at the time telling me, you need to tone it down. Your nails are too long, your hair is too crazy, your makeup's a bit much, your nail color is crazy, your dresses are too short, you're dressing in crazy big patterns, and you're making yourself stick out. And oh my god, I can't believe that this is upside down. Oh, so annoying. You're making yourself stick out, and you need to blend in. If you want to transition, you have to be like other girls. And if you want to transition, it's all about blending in. And if you want to do this, then you need to do this. I'm going to just let that soak in for a second, that the fact that somebody else would tell you that in order to be this, you need to do this. That is not true. And that is not what you need to do. If you want to wear a long gray wig, wear a fucking long gray wig. Do you know what I mean? If you want to have bright pink nails, have bright pink nails. The thing is that those are things that in that moment make you feel more feminine. Would I personally right now wear a long gray wig that goes down to my waist? Probably not. That's not my aesthetic, and that's not my style, and I've adapted my own style. But the thing is I still love my long nails, and I still love a nice bold face of makeup, and I have a good time with that. So the fact that somebody else could sit there and tell you what they think works best for your life isn't true. And it makes it super, super difficult when your family's telling you that. If your therapist is telling you that, which, by the way, they should not be doing that. They should not be doing that. A therapist should not be telling you, you need to do this, or you should tone this down. They're there to listen to you. They're not there to try to break you down. Like, that's not what the purpose of going to therapy is for. They can be honest, but they shouldn't be rude. Do you know what I mean? That's who I am. I'm very over the top. I'm very dramatic. If you take a look at any of my other videos, of course I'm dramatic. That's just who I am, and I love that. The society tells you this is what a girl looks like. She needs to have a body like this. Her hair needs to look like this. Her nose should look like this, or her makeup should look like that, or whatever it is. But the thing is that you just need to be to your standards. If it makes you happy, you need to do it. It may change in time. Do I look back and say, was my gray wig a little bit much? Yeah, but in that moment, I loved it. I tried not to let the pressures of other people try to change who I was and what I wanted to do. And I hope that whoever's watching this wouldn't let that happen either, because it's just going to lower your quality of life and it's going to lower your genuine happiness in life. And those are just some of the pressures that you can feel from other people. You yourself can put on so much more pressure. When I first started transitioning, it was, now I'm obviously male to female. I can't necessarily directly relate female to male, but obviously you put pressures on yourself, and I'm just going to generalize this, but the way you talk, the way that you walk, the way that you carry yourself, your mannerisms, the way that you sit, your posture, literally everything, the way that you eat, the way that you look at people or interact with people, the way that you dress, the way that your skin looks or your face looks or body hair, or the way that the hair on your head looks, or the way that you just open up a door, like anything that you do, you can hyper focus on. And then it's like you're living your life, but you're not actually being present with the people in front of you or what's going on around you. And you're constantly focused on the actions that you're doing. You're not living comfortably because you're hyper focused on every single thing that you do, that you think, the way you breathe, the way anything. And that's so frustrating because it makes you annoyed, because everyone else around you is just being so normal and they do these things without thinking. But in your head, you're like, I need to be more feminine, or I need to be more masculine. I need to fit this cookie cutter or this stereotype or this whatever it may be that society has put on you, or you feel that you need to act a certain way because your girlfriends act that way, or because your guy friends act that way, or because you see a guy acting that way, and you have these preconceived notions of how you should act and how you want to act, or how a girl acts or how a guy acts, and you try to conform to that so that you can be more passable and you can blend in and you can do all this stuff. And I got caught up in that so bad, and I'm assuming that so many of you guys have gotten caught up in that stuff as well. And at the end of the day, you can't live your life like that, because take a look around. Not every single girl or guy has perfect posture with their shoulders back, and not every single girl has a cute little squeaky voice that's super soft and feminine and you know what I mean? And not every single guy has the deepest, most masculine voice with a bunch of facial hair, and they're not tall and big, and they're not always so masculine and whatever that is. Every single person on this planet is different, and there's no reason that anyone should feel like they have to conform to someone else's gender ideals or gender settings or gender whatever it is. Every single person on this planet is different, and that's why this world is interesting, and that's why the world goes round, and that's why there's diversity. And everyone on this planet's different, and not everyone should have to conform to a gender norm. And that's not how this world should be conducted. And that's not how you should think. And that's not how I should think. And that's not how anybody on this planet should think, whether you're trans or you're not trans. But it's just so much more amplified for somebody that's transitioning, because you're going from a way that you were born, in a way that everyone around you has perceived you, to the way that you finally can express yourselves in the way that you felt inside for so long, whether that's 7 years, 16 years, 25 years, 40 years, 50, whatever it is. You're finally releasing your true self and who you feel. And by releasing that, you should not have to conform to anyone else's ideals, or even those pressures that you put on yourself, because at the end of the day, you have been conforming for so many years prior. You tried to be masculine because you were born a boy, or you were trying to be feminine because you were born a girl, and now you're finally getting to express yourselves. There's no reason that you should amplify being masculine because you used to be a female, or amplify being feminine because you used to be male. Like, it's all about expressing yourself, doing what makes you happy, and just feeling genuine and feeling comfortable in your own skin, because constantly feeling the need to conform and constantly feeling other people's pressures or the pressures that you put on yourself won't make you genuinely happy because you're living for someone else, or you're living under your own microscope. And when you're living under your own microscope, you can't genuinely enjoy things that are happening in your life. You can't genuinely enjoy those one-on-one connections with people. If you're out with a friend getting lunch, or if you're on a date, or if you're out in public, you're constantly hyper-focused on every single thing you do. And then it increases your anxiety and it increases everything. And at the end of the day, it just makes your quality of life so much less because you're not focused on everything else around you. You're not living your life. And it's not genuine. And I think that it would be amazing if we could all just be our genuine true selves, and if we could just release those pressures, which is, of course, so difficult to do. I struggle with it. I'm assuming whoever's watching this struggles with it. I mean, it's hard. It's certainly not easy. But once you start to let go of those pressures and just living your true self unapologetically, life gets better. It really does, because you're not worried about all those little things. You're not worried about, what your mom thinks, or what your friends think, or what the stranger, that's walking towards you in the mall and is staring you up and down thinks, because at the end of the day, you're happy. They don't matter. Of course, if it's friends or family, you care about them deeply, but they're not living your life, and they're not waking up every single day as you. They're not dealing with the stuff that you deal with. They're not understanding the pressure that you put on yourself, because obviously you're not conveying that to them. You're not like, well, I deal with this, and this is why you should, stop putting so much pressure on you. You don't do that. You just internalize it and you deal with it, and you just have to let it wash off. Does not even fucking make sense. You just have to let it, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to take it with a grain of salt, and you just have to rock with it. And you just gotta do what makes you happy, because no one else is going to live your life for you. And if they did, and you listen to everything that everyone else says, you would be bored as fuck. You'd be bored, you would be sad, you would be just not genuine. You wouldn't be yourself if you listened to what everyone else said, and you listened to the pressures that they put on you about gender conformity. Does that even fucking make sense? Is conformity even a fucking word? If you listen to the gender norms that other people put on you, if you listen to other people, you wouldn't be transitioning. Point blank. Because no one's going to do it for you. So if you constantly listen to other people, you wouldn't be transitioning and you wouldn't be living your true self. So why make such a big leap in your life only to conform to other people's pressures after you made such a big decision to live your true self? Thanks guys for watching. And these videos are definitely the hardest ones for me to film. The other ones, I'm just putting on makeup or doing whatever, and I'm just shooting shit and being dramatic as fuck because that's who I am. But these ones are a lot more real, and I'm glad that I can bring this side of me to this channel, and hopefully I can reach somebody, and somebody can understand, or someone can relate, or someone can take what I'm saying and it can inspire them to, live a more genuine, true life and not let other people affect them, because life isn't fun that way. Okay guys, see you next time.